Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we have HANDTRAP invoked. Now, HANDTRAP invoked. It's just funny to see sometimes, you know. So, sorry for the low frame rate. For some reason, it's just dropped down. But what this deck is about, you basically run kind of your 10 card invoked package: 3 Alistair, 3 Invocation, 3 Meltdown, 1 Terraforming, and then you run 30 hand traps or any form of disruption. So basically 99% of hands are 3+ negates or 3+ disruptions. So we are going to be going first against aliens question mark. So we go ahead and normal summon our Alistair, we get Invocation, we go into Gardna, then into Mechaba. It's pretty self-explanatory. We get back our Alistair for a negate next turn. We our Mechaba gets Kaiju. Unfortunately, he normally summons Rescue Rabbit, which will get Veilered. So now he just banished it for some reason, I don't know. We're gonna normal summon Alistair. Alistair will get searched for another Invocation, and we'll activate Invocation or just summon a Mechaba. We're gonna use the effective Invocation to retrieve our thing, and then we'll go into second Mechaba. We're gonna attack for some damage. Pretty decent amount of damage. They have 800 life and stuff. We overlay into VFD. We're gonna activate VFD. We declare Earth because I didn't know he was playing aliens at the time. I thought he was playing something like Gladiator Beast. He does some stuff, but basically under Skill Drain, it's not very easy to do things. I think the alien Link monster is actually pretty decent for the archetype, but it's kind of meh, honestly. But I think he basically I just attacked for game. He only had 800 life point. There was no way he's gonna really survive that. So let's go to our next replay now. Next up we have Galaxy. Galaxy, pretty consistent deck and can put up a degree of interruption. So let's see what we do. We've opened 2 copies of Invocation, unfortunately. But we do have a Nibiru and an Ash Blossom too, so that's pretty decent. We're going to go ahead, retrieve our Alistair for next turn, and pass. So he's going to start off with a normal summon Photon Thrasher. I think I should have just negated that Rhoda with my Mechaba. I think that would have been the correct thing to do, or with my Ash Blossom, whatever. Because Mechaba can negate the spell cards, because I have 2 Invocation, I don't really need the second one. He's going to summon a Photon Vanisher, which is going to search for something. He'll activate Photon Sanctuary. I meant to negate the Rhoda, but I guess better late than never. Goes into Starleech Photon Dragon, which like summons the Galaxy Eyes from his hand. Have his Galaxy Expedition, which will get Ash. And now he's going to go ahead attack. He knows that my Alistair can trigger, so he decides to just use Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon's effect to remove it for the battle phase. We normally summon our Alistair, we're going to use effect, but unfortunately it does get Tachyon Transmigration. And the bad thing about that is it shuffles it into the decks, not even sends it to graveyard, destroys it. So my Invocation will not be able to trigger. If he's Galaxy Trans, there's no way I can let that resolve, so I'm forced to negate that. He sets a copy of Call by Grave and passes. So right here we're going to draw Terraforming, nice top deck. We get a search for Magical Meltdown. We're going to activate Magical Meltdown, which will get us a search for Alistair. Alistair will go ahead and get a search for Invocation. We're going to activate its effect in order to go into a copy of Invoked Guiades, which will pop his Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, and we can use Invocation in order to retrieve our Alistair. We're going to attack for 2000, and in case you do not know what Invoked Guiades is, it's a pretty nice card. It's a brilliant card actually, where if it's special summon or another monster is special summon to your opponent's field, you can destroy a monster your opponent controls. So basically they can't control any monsters. On top of that, if you have a fusion monster in the graveyard, it makes it gain attack equal to that fusion monster attack, which is pretty important because of its low attack stat. But basically, as soon as he revives that Photon Dragon, I'm able to pop it. So unless he doesn't have enough extenders, he only has 1 set card, and that can't be that big of an extender. And also summon Alistair, and he just concedes because I have well more than lethal to beat him. So that was our second duel. Shows the other fusion options the deck has, and let's go straight to our last one now. Finally, we're up against Evil Twin Unchained. Pretty popular deck. I also like it a lot too. it's a very fun deck to play. Let's see how he does. He summons Link Disciple. I imperm his Exceed. I have 3 hand traps right here and the ability to play through 1 hand trap with my invocation. He activates Link Disciple. I think he should have gone into a Link Devotee first, but that'll just get negated. He sets Call by Grave and passes. We start off with a Magical Meltdown, getting the search for an Alistair. We'll activate Alistair, getting a search for Invocation, but we'll get Gamad, fortunately, so he summons some stuff. Next, we're gonna go ahead, activate our Invocation, and he uses Call by Grave on my Alistair now, so that's bad. We activate our Invocation just to retrieve our Alistair, and we pass. His Gamma stuff gets banished, and he only has 2 cards. There isn't much he can do, so because both of them are traps. We know summon Alistair that will get impermed, so we go into Almirage and into Secure Guard now, so we can protect ourselves from damage just for 1 turn if it really is anything. So he top decks an Evil Twin. I ogre the Evil Twin, forgetting that the Evil Twin also, the other copy also has an effect to summon another one. But no, this was all part of a plan, because if I hadn't Nibiru'd him right here, he could have popped something I control. So it was all part of the plan. 10,000 IQ. But the duel kind of just ended there. Mainly because I have Magical Meltdown. I would top deck an Imperm, which is also nice. His said card was Abominable Chamber of the Unchained. His token has 0 attack. So you can see we could have easily gone into Purgatrio, which I believe would have had the ability to OTK my opponent, because the Purgatrio would have been able to deal what, 3,500, almost 4,000 if I'm lucky. I don't think it's 4,000. I think it would have been like, I don't know, 2,900-ish. I don't remember Purgatrio's exact attack stat, but he would have at least been absurdly close to that, and he would have top decked the Silent Mining, which doesn't do anything either. So he passes, and that's the duel. Just shows more hand trap options for the deck, and let's go straight to the deck profile now. Right here for our deck, we'll start off with all our forms of interruption. 1 copy of Driver along with 3 copies of Gamma, 3 copies of Nibiru, 3 copies of Ash, 2 copies of Ogre, 3 copies of Crow, 3 copies of Veiler, and those are kind of all the hand drops, along with 3 copies of Imperm. All of them are just based around disrupting your opponent, so that's pretty self-explanatory. Nibiru is just for combo decks to control the amount of summons they have. If you want, this is a card you can cut down to 2. If you really want a 40 card deck, then I would recommend either cutting down Nibiru or the DD Crow to 2. Either one is fine. Ash is just for search heavy decks. Ogre is really for field spell heavy decks. Gamma is just for generic monster negation. Crow is for graveyard effects, and 3 copies of Veiler, just an extra disruption on the field. Imperm is also the same reason for Veiler. Next we have 3 copies of Lightning Storm. Lightning Storm is kind of a pseudo win condition in case we do not draw our Alistair package. Just helps destroy their entire field, helping us buy some more time for our Alistairs. 2 copies of Cosmic Cyclone. I feel that it is kind of important to main deck the Cosmic Cyclone, mainly because of the utility it has. 2 copies of Droplets. This can also be a copy of Dark Ruler No More. Either one is fine. I'm just going for Droplets right here, because if I have something like a Lightning Storm, Cyclone, or Forbidden Chalice, I can just chain my Droplet to it in order to negate a free card for them. Chalice will be able to negate a free card, Droplet will negate a free card, and if we have any monster hand trap, we'll be able to negate another card on top of making it spell speed 4. Just a pretty nice card in general. 2 copies of Forbidden Chalice. This would have seen more utility earlier in Numeron format, but it's starting to fall off the map, honestly. Forbidden Chalice right here. This is also something you can just take out if you want. You can maybe bump up the Ogre to 3. But Forbidden Chalice, it's probably my least favorite one in the deck. 3 copies of Imperm just as an extra monster hand trap, and it cannot be called by Grave either, so that is a pretty notable part. For our little Alistair engine, 3 copies of Alistair, 1 Terraforming, 3 Invocation, 3 Meltdown. Alistair just gets your whole fusion engine running. 1 Terraforming to get your Magical Meltdown, and Meltdown searches your Alistair on top of providing protection for your Invocation. 3 copies of Invocation. Usually I would run 2, but I feel that running 3 is important, just so that in case your Alistair does get hand trapped or something, the extra copy of Invocation does come in clutch. 3 copies of Magical Meltdown. This is to search your Alistair, it's very important. And then that's our main deck. For our extra deck, we run 1 copy of Invoked Elysium. This basically says banish all monsters your opponent controls for free at the cost of banishing itself. So that is kind of a drawback, but sometimes, usually you are able to just do some pretty decent stuff with it. 3 copies of Makaba. The main reason why I run 3 instead of just 2 or something is because of my VFD over here. 1 copy of Aguides. This is very good, just popping cards your opponent controls on top of it. In my opinion, it does it disrupts your opponent during your turn too, so that's kind of useful in breaking boards, unlike Makaba. If you're not able to use something like a Purgatrio, if they have something like a very high beat sticks, then Guides comes in. It just comes in a lot. 1 copy of Purgatrio for OTKs, and 1 copy of Kaliga. Kaliga is basically a skill drain. So what Kaliga says is each player can only use 1 monster effect per turn, and each player can only attack with 1 monster per turn. So it's basically a skill drain, and also limits the ODK potential of your opponents. Also, you can just normal summon Alistair, search an Invocation, and then you can probably just go into something like an Aguides to pop any cards your opponent controls. It does have a lot of utility. Next, I have some cards that are kind of for Dragma matchups. 1 copy of Natis if I'm up against Dragma matchup. 1 copy of Mega. Not only does this come up against a Dragma matchup, but it also comes up if you end up using Psyframe Gear Gamma on your turn. Just helps hand loop your opponents and whatnot. 1 copy of Nova just for the turn 0 Mechaba, which the negate is basically turns your opponent's Maximus into a hand trap kind of. 1 copy of Calamities. This is very easy to make, mainly because Mechaba is level 9. 1 copy of Alistair Invoker of Madness. This can search a free Invocation if you want, just to further your plays. 1 copy of Cross Sheep. Doesn't come up too much, mainly because you won't be summoning too much in this deck, but it is pretty decent. 1 copy of Secure Guard and 1 copy of Almirage, just to get the light on the field in order for Mechaba. And that's the deck. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope the deck works out for you too. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, as it does really help the channel. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.